Breaking, just 60 meters away, stands a high school. Across the street, a hotel packed with asylum seekers, and between them, a government that stopped listening. This was the day Britain fractured. November 11th, Remembrance Day, a day meant to honor the fallen. But instead, Epping watched its trust collapse in real time at the Bell Hotel. 4 months of heated hearings, 9 courtroom battles, and one unshakable promise from Westminster: "We'll protect your community." But at 2 p.m., the ruling came down. The hotel stays open, the asylum seekers stay housed, and the people of Epping got silence. To understand the eruption that followed, you have to rewind. For months, locals had been raising alarms. Alleged assaults near the hotel, police reports piling up, town halls overflowing, parents changing school routes, shop owners reporting disturbances. Every time, the government's response was identical: "We're reviewing the situation." If this story hits you, if you're tired of being told to wait while your concerns vanish into files, hit subscribe right now, because what happens next won't make the evening news, and they're counting on you not to share it. Inside Parliament, Epping's MP stood up, her voice steady, her hands trembling. "We are sitting on a tinderbox," she said. "The Bell Hotel has become the center of alleged assaults. Protests are breaking out twice a week, and appallingly, the government just overturned an injunction, choosing the rights of illegal migrants over the rights and safety of my constituents." The chamber fell silent. All eyes turned toward the Home Secretary. She didn't look up. Papers shuffled, glasses adjusted. No apology, no update, no plan. Just the sound of bureaucracy pretending not to hear. Minutes later, a Treasury log quietly surfaced, buried on page 47. £4.3 million redirected from NHS and education budgets to fund temporary asylum housing in Essex. Nurses lost funding, teachers lost resources, hospital waits lengthened, school programs were cut, all to shelter those who entered illegally, while taxpayers were told there's no money left. That was Epping's answer: a budget cut wrapped in silence. But outside Westminster, the town heard it loud and clear. By noon, Epping High Street was no longer calm. Thousands gathered. At first, no chants, no megaphones, just faces turned toward the Bell Hotel. The air thickened with grief and fury. Police formed lines across the car park, helmets down, shields locked, boots shoulder to shoulder. A woman screamed, "Save our kids!" Hundreds roared back. At 1:17 p.m., a bottle flew. Glass shattered. Then a flare. Red smoke twisting into the grey sky. Within minutes, the barriers collapsed. Riot shields clashed. Flags slammed against helmets. The street became a storm. Boots, shouts, metal, sirens layered over sirens. Traffic froze. Drivers filmed, then joined. A few thousand became tens of thousands. And then the street belonged to no one. Reinforcements arrived from Chelmsford. Smoke grenades burst at the junction. Drones captured the chaos from above. Formation lines folding. Discipline breaking in daylight. Police retreating despite orders. By 2:10 p.m., dispersal orders echoed through loudspeakers. "Leave the area immediately. This is now an unlawful assembly." Nobody moved. Dozens were detained. Zip ties bit into wrists. Officers bled, helmets dented. One sergeant hospitalized with head injuries. The Home Office issued a statement: "Public tension under review." But everyone watching knew what it really was. Not tension, not a riot, but a collapse of trust. The moment people remembered, they outnumber the ones giving orders. By nightfall, over 100,000 people had filled streets across Essex. Basildon, Chelmsford, Colchester, a wave no police line could contain. The government called for calm, promised dialogue. But calm doesn't come from press releases written by people who've never set foot in Epping. It comes from being heard, and Epping hadn't been heard in 4 long months. That night, Downing Street went dark early. Curtains drawn, phones silenced, advisors summoned. What unfolded in Epping wasn't just unrest, it was a warning. A community once silent had become a voice too loud to ignore. Inside number 10, Starmer's team huddled around live feeds, riot vans circling, smoke rising. "We can't afford another one aide whispered. The Prime Minister nodded, eyes fixed on the footage. Police retreating, flags burning, the Union Jack falling into mud. "Get the Home Secretary," he said. "Now." Minutes later, the call went out to the Home Office. Orders were short. Lock it down, contain it, and keep cameras away. But the footage was already everywhere. TikTok, Telegram, live streams from every street corner. The world had seen Britain's mask slip. By dawn, journalists crowded outside Epping Station. "Was this a protest or an uprising?" one asked. No answer came. The council shut its doors. The MP went silent. Locals woke to find riot vans parked outside schools. Mothers clutched their children tighter. Teachers cancelled classes. Supermarkets boarded their windows. It felt less like Essex, more like a state under curfew. At 8 a.m., Starmer held an emergency presser. Behind him, the Union Jack stood crooked, his voice thin but deliberate. "We understand the public's concern, but violence will not solve this." A reporter cut in, "Prime Minister, isn't this violence born from your silence?" For a second, he froze. Cameras zoomed in. Then came the line his team had rehearsed all night. "The people of Epping deserve safety, and that's exactly what we'll deliver." But outside, safety had already lost its meaning. By noon, the Bell Hotel's doors were chained shut by locals. Volunteers stood guard, waving banners reading, "Enough and our town first." Across social media, the movement gained a name, Epping Stand. Within hours, it trended across the UK, Manchester, Kent, Birmingham, crowds forming, towns echoing the same chant, "Protect Britain here." By afternoon, Parliament descended into chaos. MPs shouted over each other, some demanding deportations, others warning of domestic extremism. The Speaker slammed her gavel, "Order, order." But no one was listening. The line between left and right, compassion and control, was gone. Then came the leak. A confidential memo from the Cabinet Office revealing that 92 more hotels were scheduled to open for asylum housing by spring. 92. Across the nation, the outrage exploded. Back in Epping, the protest shifted into something else entirely. Locals and police began shaking hands, sharing food, guarding shops together, a calm that felt defiant, not submissive. Unity. The message was clear. We're not your enemy. We're your people. By nightfall, Starmer addressed the nation. "My government hears you," he said. "We are reviewing our asylum policies, effective immediately." But the camera caught what his words couldn't hide. The fatigue, the pressure, the realization that this wasn't a policy crisis anymore. It was political survival. Outside Downing Street, Nigel Farage appeared, grinning before the cameras. "I warned them," he said. "Ignore the people long enough, and they'll remind you who runs this country." And just like that, Epping stopped being a local issue. It became a symbol, the night Britain remembered how to speak. The question now isn't what happens next. It's whether anyone in power has the courage to listen before the next town erupts.